Hi, my name is Renee Rizzo. This will be a teacher facing video which will guide you through my adaptation of Earth Science Unit 9, Day 3 in the New York City Department of Education Teach Hub for students in alternate assessment settings. I will also show you three differentiated levels of assessment for this lesson, which I created using Google Forms. Earth Science, Astronomy, Unit 9, Day 3. I included the same focus question for the original lesson because I felt it was a good way to focus our lesson. How is the solar system organized? The next generation standard addressed, I believe, is RST7. Integrate and evaluate multiple sources of information presented in diverse formats and media, e.g., quantitative data, video, multimedia, in order to address a question or solve a problem. The related NISA DLM essential element. Analyze information presented in different media on related topics to answer questions or solve problems. As you can see, these standards are very similar, but the DLM essential element is adapted for students in alternate assessment settings. The vocabulary that I decided to introduce in this lesson to make the lesson more accessible for students. Geocentric, with the Earth as the center. And I included a picture of the Earth from unsplash.com, which is a website on which you can obtain access to pictures that are not subject to copyright regulations. And heliocentric, with the sun as the center. And I also got this image from unsplash.com. So the original lesson incorporated two videos about our solar system. I believed that one of the videos was a little bit too complex for my students, so I decided to boil it down to just use the one video that I thought was more appropriate for my students. So this YouTube video is about models of the universe. And the narrator goes into the few different models of the universe that have been believed to be the true model over time. He explains who created these models of the universe and exactly what was believed for each one. So basically, you start off with an Earth centered or geocentric model, and we wind up at our present day heliocentric or sun centered model. So, this is a side note for your tactile or kinesthetic or even visual learners. I have a model of the solar system in my classroom. I believe I inherited it from a previous teacher. I actually don't know where I got it, but I assume many of you may have something similar in your classroom also. So if you do, I would recommend offering this hands-on and or visual opportunity for your students. I like the model because you can actually spin the planets around the sun and students can see how the solar system actually operates and how it would look, obviously on a much smaller scale. So here are some multiple choice questions that you can do together as a class based on what students learned in the video. So what is the geocentric model? A, Earth-centered, B, sun-centered, or C, moon-centered. So obviously the geocentric model will be Earth-centered. These images are also from unsplash.com. Some of them are the same images you saw previously in the lesson. Now, what is the heliocentric model? Earth-centered, sun-centered, or moon-centered? And obviously the correct answer here would be sun-centered. Finally, why do you think it was so difficult at the time to accept the heliocentric model? And the answer to this question is gone over in the video. So this should be something the students saw and hopefully retained. So the answer choices are A, people long ago hated the sun. B, people long ago believed God made the earth and it was the most important planet in the universe. Or C, people thought the moon was the center of the universe. So the correct answer here would be B. People long ago believed God made the earth and it was the most important planet in the universe. So now I would like to show you 3 differentiated levels of assessment I created for this lesson so that students on various levels within your classroom can demonstrate comprehension of what they learned. So our level 1, this would be the students who need the maximum level of support. So what does geocentric mean? And we have the picture answer choices again. Earth-centered, sun-centered, or moon-centered. What does heliocentric mean? Earth-centered, sun-centered, or moon-centered? Level 2, which would be for our students who need moderate levels of support. You can see I took away the picture supports, but left the multiple choice options. For what does geocentric mean? Earth-centered, sun-centered, or moon-centered? And what does heliocentric mean? Earth-centered, sun-centered, or moon-centered? So our differentiated assessment for your students on level 3, which would be your students who need the least amount of support to access the curriculum and can engage with open-ended higher order thinking questions. So what does geocentric mean? And it's open-ended, and you hope that the students can tell you on their own that it means earth-centered. What does heliocentric mean? Once again, open-ended, and we are hoping that students can tell us on our own that it means sun-centered. So what is our solar system considered? Geocentric or heliocentric? So this is really crucial to assessing whether your students understood the main idea of this lesson. The main idea being that we learned that the solar system is heliocentric. And then finally, why was this hard for some people to accept when it was discovered? This is extra challenging for the students because it is a why question, and it forces them to go back into their memory banks or to look at the video again to answer the question. So, just for review, this was a teacher-facing video which guided you through my adaptation of Earth Science Unit 9, Day 3 in the New York City Department of Education Teach Hub for students in alternate assessment settings. I also showed you 3 differentiated levels of assessment for this lesson, which I created using Google Forms. Thank you for watching.